in. It is the Hip Spotlight. And today we're very blessed, in fact, grateful for the opportunity to talk to Tim Blixseth. And he is a songwriter and a record producer. And he was the man and continues to be the man behind Heart of America. If you are a programmer or a partner of HIP or a decision maker, gatekeeper, I know a lot of you watch, and I know a lot of our fellow musical creatives watch. Heart of America couldn't have come out at a better time. And we here at HIP, the entire crew, the hipsters, absolutely embraced this great opportunity to advocate for Tim and the musical group Cycamore. So without further ado, hello, Tim. Welcome to today's Hip Spotlight.
Well, thank you, Andy. It's an honor to be on your show.
Well, we can talk a lot about Heart of America, but you've been here in America for quite some time. You've seen it all, and you sure have done a lot of great things. Just talking about the music and the songcraft, now you're spending a lot of time writing songs, but you've been writing songs a long time. When did the music bug actually hit you hard?
Well, Andy, I grew up in a religious cult in Roseburg, Oregon, which didn't allow for school dances, participating in sports, or listening to music. So back then, I bootlegged a little called a transistor radio that had a little antenna that you pulled up and it had one earplug. And so I bootlegged that into my bedroom, and my mother would come in. Are you asleep, Timothy? Yes. And then I put the music back in, and that was my escape. That's when I first started listening to music, and then the rest, the disease struck for life.
Well, life without music is a mistake. It really is the salve we turn to in troubling times. And Tim, we listen to music to feel a way we'd rather be feeling.
Right? Music is the universal language completely.
You've done a lot in this world, but heck, take us back 20 years. Heart of America, it's just as timely now as when you released it to help the folks that suffered greatly from Hurricane Katrina.
Well, how that started was uh, at that time, I was working with Eric Benet, and we'd done one or two albums together at Warner's. And I got a call as the hurricane had just hit. Got a call from Tom Wally, who was the chairman of Warner's at the time. And Tommy called me and said, "Hey, there's an effort underway, and Tom Brokaw's daughter, Andy Brokaw, works for us in New York, and she's talked to NBC, and we tried to brainstorm a way to raise money for the victims. Would you participate?" And I said, "Sure." So Phil Griffin was an executive at NBC at the time, and we got on the phone call and we talked about how it would happen. And it was decided that we would build houses for the victims and convert Rockefeller Plaza to Humanity Plaza and broadcast 24 hours a day. So we all agreed. And then we started talking about how do we best promote this. And somebody suggested, well, we need a theme song. And Tom said to me, "Well, can you write it?" And I said, "Of course I can write it." And not being self-effacing, but I just, of course, let's give it a shot. So I woke up about 3:20 a.m. in the morning, went to my piano. It was like it was already written, but I didn't have it finished. So I called Eric Benet, who around 4:30 a.m., who was probably just going to bed as a musician. And he goes, "Man, what are you doing calling me this time of morning?" And I said, "Well, I played it over the phone to him." And he said, "Wow, that's cool, and that's great." So we finished it. So then I thought, okay, we need some really marquee artists to do this because it was not about commercialization of it. It was about raising money. It'd be the theme on the Today Show. So I got a hold of my longtime pal Michael McDonald and got a hold of Eric, and then we said, well, we probably need a voice or two more, and so we added them, and we scheduled a recording session at Fox in Hollywood. And Peter Chernin was in the chairman of Fox, so I knew, and I said, Peter, this has got to be a freebie. So we got with Walter Afanasieff, the Grammy-winning producer, and Walter produced the record. And Wynonna Judd was the third that we added. So they all flew out to Hollywood. We made the record, videoed it, and then it kind of started a life its own. They started playing on the Today Show as a theme. And then the Major League Baseball asked us if the group would do it live at the World Series in Houston. And we did. And I'll never forget, I'm standing on home base with Nolan Ryan and Michael and Eric and Wynonna are on the pitcher's mound singing the song. And there's a big flag that came out across the field, and 100 million people worldwide were watching that. So as that started, then the donations started coming in. And I went on the Today Show and made a contribution. And then the contributions got more and more. And we ultimately, I believe, raised around 130 or $40 million. So then after we got well along in the campaign, I got a call from Habitat's chairman, and he said, hey, could you pick up President Carter in Florida, President Mrs. Carter, and fly them down to the Delta where we're going to build the 1,001 house for the money. Sorry about that. So I picked up the Carters in Americus, Georgia, and then we went down and built the 1,001 house. And Jimmy was such a pleasant guy. I really loved the guy. And he surprised me at lunch after we'd had a half day of building. He had the state choir get up and sing Heart of America for me, which was very inspirational. And I will always cherish that day with the Carters. And so then time goes by, years go by. And so when I got the idea to put together Sycamore, I decided that, I've got to rewrite some of the lyrics of the song to fit today's somewhat acrimonious society. And so I rewrote part of the lyrics to fit, I think, today's situation. And Sycamore recorded it. And that's the history of the song.
Well, these are things you didn't have to do, Tim, and you did them. You really are the poster kid for giving of yourself ungrudgingly, not asking for a whole lot in return. I surmise it's really come back to you tenfold.
There's only a couple of reasons, in my opinion, to give. A lot of people give to get their names on buildings and to get accolades. And the other is because you really care, and you can be the anonymous giver in the back of a room that nobody knows who you are, but you know who you are because you gave. And that's really where I like to be. Sometimes in the past, to help people high profile, like the DC Sniper Fund that I did, that was rewarding because it needed to be done. I'll never forget. After the truck driver turned in the shooter, they had a big media event back in Washington D.C. and they asked me to come back. And so, here's every camera, all the world, just about there, and they introduced me, and I get up and take questions. And this young reporter in the back of the room said, "Well, Mr. Blixseth, what do you know any of the victims?" I said, "No." "Do you know the shooter?" "No." "Then why would you do something like this?" And I looked at him, I said, "Well, young man, because it's the right thing to do." And everybody clapped. So, do the right thing.
No, it's an important message of this transmission, Tim.
Well, there is way too much division in the country, in my opinion. I don't care whether you're black, white, yellow, Democrat, Republican, Independent. We need to get along better, and that's why the start of the song says, "Maybe now this is the time to set our differences aside." Now, maybe that's idealistic. Maybe it'll never happen, but if you don't try, you don't know.
My mom used to say, "Kid, outside show is a poor substitute for inner wealth."
There you go.
You just have so much. You pour this into your songwriting. Talk about it.
Well, I've really been on a songwriting roll recently, and I've also taken a lot of my older songs, which had laid dormant for years, and given them facelifts in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just really excited about 4 or 5 of those songs. And we're just signing a great artist from London named Nate Bass. He was with a group called Essex County. And Nate is just a great singer. I mean, I can't wait in the end of January to get in the studio with him. We're going to do an album with Nate, and there'll be 13 of my songs on that album.
A mix of old and new.
Well, yes, the stew will have some meat and some potatoes, and there's a lot of new songs. I wrote one for my wife Ari called "Better Late Than Never." It's, and it
which
turned out to be
A,
pardon me.
which is A, you didn't finish this song.
Oh, it's done. It's finished.
Okay. And love of your life gives you an endless stream of inspiration.
Yes, and she's a firecracker too.
I can imagine. Yeah. It's been said that many of the best end up shifting off this mortal coil with their best music still inside of them. What do you know now with this 2025 big, big uptick in the output of your songcraft that perhaps you didn't know when you first started writing?
Better late than never.
Yep.
So now it's just so much fun to take a song that I wrote, 30 some years ago, called "I Love My Friend,"
Mm-hmm.
and I've probably have 80% of the lyrics that I had back then, and I've added 20% new, and it just has such a great feel to it. And we have a lot of hopes for that song in the next year or so.
Well, if there are any bits of wisdom from your life experience, because we have many songwriters watching this transmission right now. I know because I'm pals with you that your songs come to you at odd, peculiar moments in the day. But what kind of wisdom can you share with up and coming songwriters who have so much time to change the world?
Well, I would say follow your heart and your gut feelings. Don't be deterred by being turned down or being told it isn't very good, and keep learning by your writing. And if you truly have the talent to write songs that the public will like, just don't give up. Never give up.
We've seen a lot of the best. We talk about the pain point, and when they're ready to fold up like a cheap lawn chair, I impress upon them, dear friend, you are so close to blasting past that pain point. And I'd like to know if you've known some people like that. And then they give up. And Tim, the last 5 years, have been a buzzkill for many. And you could have just kind of said, I've had my time, no more songwriting for me. That's a really important message that Tim is sharing here. Never give up despite the challenges.
I feel like I'm a young kid just learning how to write now.
And you still have inspirational things to say. With this Heart of America, you've gathered, talk about top shelf, world class. Talk about how awesome it is to have the wherewithal to reach out to the best in every musical arena to make a song like Heart of America so splendidly memorable.
Well, it's an honor that back when Michael and Winona and Eric first did the song, it's an honor for them to do it. And today with Sycamore, we have 5 of the best studio musicians in the world. That's not an overstatement. They've collectively played on around 300 gold and platinum albums and never won for themselves. And they're just the greatest guys. Eddie Bear Jr., our drummer, is the only drummer in the Country Music Hall of Fame. And these guys are just, they don't get any better. So to have those 5 guys take a risk, because they've been asked to join almost every major band, and they've always said no. And so when we got acquainted with each other through a mutual friend, one by one, we just said, this is a shot. It's a way to get your music out your way, and I'll be the coach, but you guys are the players. And so their album, which is called New Old School, is coming out shortly. And I just see in the Grammys that there's a brand new category, which thankfully we waited long enough for, called traditional country music. And the album is truly, it's old school but new. And we've got a lot of really good songs on there. I was blessed to write one with David Foster on the album, one with his ex-wife Linda Thompson, one with Steve Dorff, all great songwriters. And even Stevens and his partners wrote a really great song of that album. So there's some good stuff on the record. We're looking forward to getting it released. And we've got a couple, 2 or 3 more videos already done. And we're looking forward to the future.
Well, as the person in charge here at HIP, we're sure glad that we've made acquaintances, and always know that my team and I are here ready to fight the good fight on your behalf. The voice on Heart of America, it really is like no other. Can you speak about that voice and the gentleman behind it?
His name is Adam Cunningham, and he was on The Voice. And I think he finished 4th on The Voice, which is probably a good thing, because I believe that the top 3 have to be obligated to have record contracts for life with The Voice. And Adam didn't. He's never had a record out before. And he's got such a great voice. It's just real and real good. So Adam's a real deal, and we sure enjoyed working with him, and looking forward to the future with him. But the Sycamore project the next album may not feature Adam. It may feature other singers or another singer, because the core is the 5 guys that is Sycamore. And they're just, each one of them are just great guys. Collectively, there's no better rhythm section, if you will, in the world that I'm aware of. Kind of like the Wrecking Crew.
Definitely the
Very similar to Jeff Porcaro back in the days with Poco. Oh no, not Poco. I'm sorry. Right.
No, it's easy to get those two mixed up.
Yeah, Toto. They were Basically the same as what we're doing here, but many years earlier. So the journey is just beginning.
Mm-hmm. Very inspirational, Tim. Now, in the music video, everybody watching this transmission, all they have to do is Google Heart of America. Please note, this is Sycamore. Cycamore. Heart of America. And you will be moved. You'll be delighted. It's really an outstanding video. And Tim, can you confirm something for us? In that video, there's 4 background singers. Tell us who they are, because you see them. And of course, we know all of the great players that are featured. But this whole 20 feet from stardom, I'm curious who you were able to get back there to do those wonderful background vocals.
Well, our background singers on the record and the rest of the album are the same 4 people that their entire lives they've been spent doing that backup singing. Some of them have gone on the roads with, very well-known artists. But I'm sure along the way that each one of them had hopes to be the person out front, but for whatever reason, they aren't. But they are not less important than Adam out front. They bring a harmony and melodies that are real. So that's our crew.
It's outstanding. Now, with music producing, do you liken yourself to being a coach?
Oh yeah, that's my job is to coach the players. But the quarterback knows how to run a play once he gets out in the field. The coach doesn't run the play. So that's me in the studio. That's me in the studio. I don't have to tell Brig, our bass player, or Dame Bryant, our key. I don't have to tell him how to do it. And so, like on one particular song on the album, there was one part of the record that's just really one little 2-bar session that they came up with. They said, "How about this?" Which I never would have thought of. And man, it turned out great. So coach them, okay, guys, get ready, go play. And they do.
And to a very, very high level of excellence, I might add.
Without being a broken record, so to speak, they are the best.
Mm-hmm. All right, so 2026, a lot of great stuff is going to be happening. Why don't you share with our audience today some of the cool things to look forward to from Tim Blixseth and Sycamore?
Their album will be released shortly, so 2026 we hope is the breakout year for them. We will be doing the Nate Bass album with 13 of the new songs. I won't mention their names because it's not appropriate, but on the song I Love My Friend, we have 2 world major artists looking at recording that song as a duet. And as I told my wife, if those 2 people do that song, we'll probably be sitting next to them at the Grammys because I think it would be that big. So 2026 is going to be exciting. It's going to be filled with great music. And we all just hope we all have good health and the world doesn't fall apart.
Well, I think that there are certain fellow human beings that want folks to be afraid and or depressed, or shall we say not well moneyed. And you really are carrying carrying the torch for everybody who wants to turn things around and wants people to come together. And it's a message we need now more than ever. And there you are, Tim, leading the charge. And if you lead this charge right into next year, I do think a lot of people are really going to jump down on our side of the fence. Because please tell our audience, it's not too late, everybody.
You know, it's never too late as long as you have hope. And as long as you have hope, there is hope. And I say one thing: follow your dreams and they will follow you.
Mm-hmm. It's true. You have to be the change you hope for in this world. And we hope that everyone watching this transmission can take some inspiration from Tim and really do exactly what he just suggested you do. And of course, our mantra here is to keep fighting the good fight. And it's really all we've got here. You can't give up. You got to be the happy warrior. So, Tim, how can everyone watching find out more about you and Sycamore? It's plug time.
Well, go to the Sycamore website, and the videos on that website as well. And we'll be having lots of press releases in the next few months. And it's not about me, it's about Sycamore. It's about the guys that are well past the time where they should be recognized. So, like I said, I'm only the coach and I'm the peripheral person off camera here. They are the real deal. So stay tuned for Sycamore. And thanks to people like you, Andy, who have been so good to us and gotten the word out there. We thank you, but we are just beginning.
We heard it in 1970, and Richard brought it to us. We've only just begun, ladies and gentlemen, with Sycamore. And can I share something with the audience, Tim?
I don't know, can you?
I can, with your blessing. Um, you can imagine what a great thrill it is to get to work with people like Tim. And here we are in New Jersey, fighting the good fight on his and Sycamore's behalf. But I will receive an email, and it will be from Tim, and he'll say, I woke up in the middle of the night and I wrote this song, and I'm curious what you think. And I literally pinched myself. I'm like, this guy is asking me what my team and I think. And Tim, I hope when you receive our feedback, it's helpful. And on behalf of my team and I, because they wanted me to ask, they're like, can you make sure Tim keeps sending us the new songcraft so we can be, you know, we're getting a sneak peek of all of this.
They will continue your way, Andy, and I appreciate all of your opinions because none of us have all the answers. And there's a reason God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. You listen twice as much as you talk.
Yes. Yes. Well, Tim, once again, thank you for being our guest today on the Hip Spotlight. Enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. And everybody watching, I know you hear it every day. Please check out all things on our YouTube channel. If you can leave a comment, maybe say, hey, this was a good one, Andy. This is what I liked. Or if you'd like to make a comment about Tim, I think that would be great too. Certainly, if you can like and subscribe, that would be very, very pleasing to my team and I. And look out, we're getting ready for the 12 days of hipness. Yes, we're going to be doing 12 YouTube live streams starting after Thanksgiving. and wrapping up around Christmas. So there's going to be a lot of great transmissions that you'll be able to check out. So, Tim, thank you again. And to
Thank you,
everyone,
Andy.
you're welcome.
It
Everybody,
was an honor. And you
yeah,
have a great Thanksgiving, and everyone out listening out there, hug your family and be thankful this Thanksgiving.
yes, sir. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
Be Andy.